Hello, we're the Bridge Boys, and for our project, we did bridge deck construction. We visited the I-75 bridge project at Exit 62 in Mount Vernon. Step 1 to building a concrete deck is to build a walking deck on both sides of the bridge for safety during the concrete pour. Step 2 is build and place concrete forms in order to meet the plans for the project, which is both shown in the images above. Step 3 is tie rebars on the deck according to plans and specifications. Step 4 is set up the bid well to easily pave the concrete deck, order a concrete pump truck, and start pouring the concrete onto the bridge deck, which is shown in these pictures. Step 5 is workers keep concrete in front of the bid well and vibrate the concrete using the tool shown in the image on the right to ensure that the concrete fills all gaps in between the rebars. Step 6 is workers finish the concrete surface behind the bid well using small hand floats and a bull float, which is shown in this image. After the surface is finished and smooth, the workers will then use a concrete rake to put small grooves in the concrete surface, which gives it a texture and increases the traction of vehicle tires driving on the bridge deck. Once this is complete, the deck will be covered with wet burlap, which holds in the moisture in the concrete for about a week after the deck is poured to allow for proper curing of the concrete.
So now in terms of the safety for the bridge deck pour, a couple of things we saw out on the job site was they used concrete walls to direct the traffic and adjust the lanes. That way none of the traffic was bothering or disrupting any of the construction going on. Another thing you see in the picture is they have lights, so for the nighttime, that way they can work throughout the night. That way less traffic, less congestion, all that stuff. And then one of the other things that we saw out on the site was they use police cruisers. So sometimes you'll see driving down the interstate, you'll have a police cruiser before the traffic approaches the construction site. That way they know to slow down and be cautious going through the construction zone there. And you'll see that on different projects here and there. And now Ben will go over the standard specs for the bridge deck pour.
So now with your concrete, we're going to do an air test for ASTM C231. What you'll do is you'll take a bucket like right here, we see in this picture, fill it up between 3 equal layers, and every layer you will rot it 10 to 15 times. And then the upper 2 layers, you'll penetrate 1 inch down to the previous. Then you'll put your lid on, close the clamps on each end, and fill it up with water using the valves also in the picture. Once water's coming out, you'll close them off. You use the little knob on the top to pump it about 10 times, and then you'll release the air, and the air content should be between 4 to 8%. Your temperature can be no greater than 90 degrees. Then for your slump test, according to ASTM C143 standards, you'll fill it just like you did with your air test with 3 equal layers, but you'll rot it 25 times per layer. And then your slump can be no greater than 2 to 4 inches, meaning that once you pull up the cone you see here, your concrete will drop, and it can't drop no more than 2 to 4 inches. And then you're required to do 6 to 9 cylinders for every 50 yards of concrete, and you'll fill them up just like these in these cylinders, as you can see, exactly the same as the sump test and the air test. And then you'll cap it, and they let them sit, and once they have fully cured, then you'll break the seals and you'll test for their concrete strength.